Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing. And in case you have forgotten what that is, Mark, what is AFA all about?
AFA is all about the fact that you're absolutely fucking amazing and perfect and absolutely everything exactly as you are. No need to change.
No need to change. So
No,
truly, what are we doing here? We're trying to decrease stigma
we are
around what it means to feel good and to be
around what
high,
it means to
right?
be high. Yeah.
Yes. H for hope, I for
Mhm.
inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And here we are, Mark.
Fantastic. Here we are on Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. Woo! So here we go. Let's start out with a little bit of daily love. So today was from a Landmark book, which I love. Landmark, man. It just makes me think all the time, Little
Truly,
challenging thought, little challenging thought. It's
perspective
like a
consciousness.
philosophy program, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's
But it's
really what
really
it is.
good.
Yeah,
It helps
yeah,
bring in consciousness to something that you
yes,
probably haven't experienced. It helps you to critically evaluate your thoughts.
right, and
Right?
so here we are. Today, it was about having a breakthrough. So a breakthrough is doing something completely different than what you normally would do, because we live every day as if it's business as usual. Really, if you look at your life, if you take a real honest look at it, you are mostly doing the same things day in and day out without, just not much change there, right? But it's
Mhm.
business as usual. And so we live life as if everything's obvious. Like, obviously, this is Sherry, my partner. Obviously, this is my job. Obviously, this is my spouse. It's just obvious. But you know what happens when things are obvious? You take them for granted.
There you go.
So, not living business as usual is stepping outside of that and recognizing just how amazing your life is, and how you have an opportunity, once you see that you're in business as usual, to actually have a breakthrough in whatever area of life that you really want to have a breakthrough in. And here it is right here. A breakthrough is to take what isn't and have it be.
Ooh, there
Yeah.
you go. A breakthrough
Yeah.
is taking what isn't and have it be.
Yes.
Manifestation at its
That's it.
best.
It's not about taking something and changing it. It's about take what isn't, like, and have it be. So, the key is here, Sherry, you need to know what is before you can know what isn't. So
There you
you have to
go.
be super clear about what is actually happening in your life at this exact moment. So practice, practice, practice,
Practice, right?
and a
So
little
it's
daily love every day.
daily love,
Yeah.
AFA love to start your day off.
And the word of the day today is breakthrough.
Breakthrough. I
Break
like that.
through what you normally do, the patterns that are ingrained, step outside of it and do something completely different that you never even thought about. Morning,
Okay,
Jack.
that's really cool. I like that idea. So my word of the day is going to be breakthrough as well, because I think that's a really cool concept. When something comes in and grabs your attention and you get that feeling, what can
Mhm.
you do different, right? I get it. So this is
Yep.
breakthrough. Okay, this will be interesting to talk about tomorrow. This is good. I want to see what my breakthrough is going to be
Available.
today, because here's the thing. I'm going to be open to letting the universe show me where I need to
Yes.
break through.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
really cool. Good morning, Jack. Thank you for joining us today. So
Mhm.
that's great. So now we have that awesome. We did the AFA love. We have
Yes.
breakthrough, the word of the day. Now we're
Yeah.
going to have the Green Nurse Iowa Daily
Way up
Nug.
there in Iowa.
Iowa, Carrie Lee Laura from Soul Thrive. She has you covered today. So what she's doing is she's creating little nugs and hugs of information, just specific words that you hear in the cannabis space. So you can start to understand when you see these things, what they might be.
Mhm.
So here's one.
Mhm.
I didn't know what this was right the first time. COA. certificate of analysis.
That
I'm
it
like,
is.
what's a COA? You know what I mean?
It's a hot damn topic is what it is.
Truly. So, COA is a lab report from a third-party organization that breaks down the cannabinoids, terpenes, heavy metals, pesticides, microbes, mycotoxins, residual solvents, and detectable foreign contaminants. That's
Mhm.
pretty important if you ask me.
Now, how do the Sherry? So here's a little tidbit. Let's give a nug here. Do you know why all those end up in the cannabis plant?
Well, because yes, it's a bioaccumulator.
It is. It takes everything in the soil that it's planted in and sucks it up into the plant. So that doesn't. So if there's an outdoor grow and it's in soil that has been used in the past for farming and there's been pesticides or maybe there's some heavy metals from some contamination earlier years, that
Right.
plant is going to suck it up. I mean, they actually use it as a remediation tool on some of these Superfund sites. They'll use
Yes.
cannabis, hemp, primarily in industrial hemp. They'll plant it and they'll leach all of those contaminants out of the soil. So yeah, it's super freaking important that all of these products be tested.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because if you think about it, patients have the right to know what's in their medicine. You
they
wouldn't
do.
walk into a pharmacy and just buy a medication not knowing what's in it, right? And so it's
Well,
really
I don't
important.
know. I could make an argument, the controversy from a couple of years ago that, most of this base component of our medications is produced in China. And unfortunately, the FDA didn't do their diligent reviews of these places. And they actually
Yeah.
were producing the base with a carcinogen in it.
Oh,
As
geez, I didn't know that.
part of the oh yeah. So as part of the process of creating this particular medicine, chemically during the process, there's a possibility that a carcinogen can be created if it's not done correctly, and it
Oh,
wasn't.
wow.
So they pulled off.
Wow.
I can't remember, was it valsartan? It was one blood pressure medication that they pulled off the market because it was contaminated with a carcinogen, and people had been taking it for years.
Can I tell
Yeah.
you,
So
there's a lot of
it's
neurotoxins and a lot of different things, which is just amazing. But I didn't know
yeah,
that. That's really
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So not everything as it seems. So even when
Mhm.
you get a label, you just never know. But the most important thing is even you wouldn't go into a drugstore and buy Tylenol without it saying Tylenol on the bottle and what are the other ingredients in it. So that's just
Right.
it's really important. We need to know the active ingredients are actually the actual ingredients to
Mhm.
treat or manage the symptom. And so having that
Right.
COA is important. And
Yeah,
it's a safety issue. It's a
it
true
is.
safety issue. You know, I mean, when I started off my journey, I had a horrible autoimmune condition, and it was every
Mhm.
single thing that I was so sensitive to. So, immunocompromised patients cannot ingest anything that's contaminated with the pesticides, fungus, heavy metals, or foreign
Yeah,
objects. It
fungus.
could
Imagine
literally,
a fungal infection in somebody with a compromised immune system could be
no,
life-threatening.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally could.
So it's really super important, right? And so when do we test, Sherry? We test the raw plant, we test after extraction, and we test the final product. I'm really a fan of having 3 testing points because then you know what
You
you're
know,
mm,
yep. And so that's going to be part of our Green Nurse Approved program, which we'll get into in another show. But that's the part
oh,
that's
yeah.
really cool is we are truly, as patients, we care. So knowing these certificate of analysis not only protects patient, but it helps them to find and use that perfect combination of cannabinoids and
Mhm,
terpenes to target a specific condition or symptoms. Right. So
mhm.
there, you have these two different ailments. Everyone's different. They're going to require different cannabinoid profiles and terpene combinations. So really have all that information is crucial for patients using this.
Absolutely key.
The other thing that Dr. Raphael Matulam taught me, which was really cool, I was texting him one day on LinkedIn and he was so cool that he answered, but he basically said that as we change, our cannabinoid requirements change. So basically having that COA is extremely helpful to make those
Mhm.
adjustments.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom.
So
Wellness
this leads us,
Wednesday.
yeah, so this leads us into Wellness Wednesday. Absolutely. So there is no one more important than you. And this
Because
is
you're AFA, baby. You're
your AFA.
AFA. Right.
So I'm gonna
This is an interesting one.
this is a
Yeah.
really interesting one because
Yeah.
this top it's glaucoma. So
Mhm.
glaucoma awareness and eye health this week, Glaucoma Awareness Month.
Right.
So I'm just going to share a quick story, and then we can get into the details of why eye health is so important. So as you can see, I've got glasses. I actually do have glaucoma. I didn't know I had glaucoma until 2012. And it was just basically a randomized, I wasn't able to get the puff test. So when you get your eyes checked, they check for a lot of different things, and glaucoma is one of them.
Right.
And I've never, ever, 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 ever have had a successful glaucoma test because my eyes are so sensitive. I can't even wear contacts.
Wow.
So basically, I was educated in this particular doctor's office. It was an ophthalmologist that my friend knows, and it was her mother or whatever, relative, family, whatever. And she was able to work with me to get that puff test. Took a while, but we got it. And as it turned out,
measuring the pressure in your eyeball, right?
Measuring the pressure in your eyeball. So she looked and she says, you know what? It's high. And I was like, what? Yep, it's high. I'm like, that's not hopeful. It's like, there's no hope and inspiration. So basically, she had to do this crazy thing where she pried my eyeball open and put this glass on it. And she basically said that my eye angles were so acute that there was a possibility that it was starting to block off this hole. It's like a drainage hole that drains liquid in your eyeball.
Right. The aqueous solution, right? So it's always this solution inside your eye. And you're right, Sherry, the trabecula, I think is what they call it. It's a mesh filter unit that is supposed to allow it to flow out. So when there's a physical problem with that or something's clogging it, that's when you get that buildup, and that's what damages the nerve, right?
Yes, it's the optic nerve that gets damaged. So the vision loss is caused by the damage of the optic nerve. And so this nerve acts like an electric cable, and it has a ton of wires, and it's responsible for carrying images to our brain. So this is just so important. Eye health is extremely important. So basically, when I got this diagnosis, what was it? It was basically, laser eye surgery or medication. And so I didn't know what to do. And so I saw another specialist. Basically, what I ended up doing was I didn't know at the time that cannabis could be used for glaucoma. However, I'm kind of glad that I didn't. And I'm going to explain a little bit why.
Right.
In a minute, because it's a tricky subject when we come to working with patients. And here we can get into this too. So quick review. What is glaucoma? So it's a group of eye diseases that gradually steal your sight without warning, right? The vision loss is caused by the damage to the optic nerve. Right. And like we said, this nerve carries messages and images to the brain. There's two types: primary glaucoma or open angle, which I had, is the increase in ocular pressure. So it's like blood pressure in the eyeball filling up, right? And then the secondary glaucoma is when other disease processes contribute to the eye pressure. So for example, diabetes. Right.
And that's why, losing your sight is one of the awful, results of diabetes.
Right. Right. And so there's many risk factors, Mark.
Yeah. So African, Asian, and Hispanic descent are more prevalent glaucoma. If you're over 60 years old, if you're extremely nearsighted, there's a higher chance that you'll develop glaucoma. And of course, people who have diabetes.
Yeah. Interesting. And so what is the prevention? Truly early detection with eye exams.
That's it. Annual eye exams with that puffy test that Sherry hates so much.
Man, I'm telling you.
Do it. Yeah.
You have to do it because here
cause of blindness in the world.
Yes, it is second leading cause of blindness. Exactly. And so what it's like a comprehensive exam to start treatment right away, right? So generally, a lot of times patients don't have symptoms until the vision loss starts on the periphery. Okay, so that's really interesting. So if you have glaucoma, you might not even notice anything. Like me, I noticed nothing. And so, it just scares me to think what could have happened if I really didn't get this diagnosis.
Right. Now, are we going to talk about glaucoma on Throwback Thursday?
Oh, on Throwback Thursday?
Yeah, because there's some history here. Like glaucoma is really important in the history of cannabis, right?
We do. So we're going to talk about, we have a couple of throwbacks.
Okay. All right. I'll talk about it then.
Yes, but you're right. It is really good. And it gets into it here too, is that, cannabinoids, medical cannabis ranks among glaucoma for medical cannabis ranks among the most frequently cited reasons for using medical marijuana. And we'll get into that tomorrow. There was the federal government granted permission for compassionate marijuana use.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that whole thing in the history. I just love that stuff. You're
Yeah,
right, Sherry. But I think you're going to get to the point here somewhere in here because you talked about it earlier. The medications, the pharmaceutical medications they have for glaucoma are pretty effective, and it's not. You don't want to dismiss those as being not effective.
Well, here's this, and it gets into a little bit deeper when it comes to cannabinoids. Okay, so really interesting. So most trials, and we'll get into a little bit more of them tomorrow, do demonstrate that cannabinoids do reduce intraocular pressure, right? As well as the same conventional glaucoma medications.
Right.
Okay, so whether it's taken orally, intravenously, or inhaled, the intraocular pressure was reduced. However, most of these trials demonstrated that the pressure was lowered for only 3 to 4 hours maximum after taking cannabis orally, IV, or inhalation. So here's the issue. The problem is consistency, right? Yes. Consistency. Glaucoma treatment is 24 hours a day. And some people, it's unrealistic for them to be consuming cannabis every 2 to 4 hours. Now, some people, it won't be a problem, but you have to think about really the risk-benefit ratio when you're looking at your eyeballs and vision.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, here's the other thing too that's interesting that studies have shown is that application. So people would say, oh, what about eye drops? Doing eye drops every 2 hours. Well, studies have shown that application to the eye directly does not lower intraocular pressure. So that's really interesting. So the issue with glaucoma and cannabis is, yes, it does lower pressure, but is it realistic for a patient to be able to consume, that much cannabis or use that much cannabis in order to have the consistency that is needed to keep the pressure down?
Right. So if you talk to an ophthalmologist and someone who's going to treat people with glaucoma, cannabis is on the list, but it's not at the top of the list.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
so
a huge history and a huge important part and role that it played in where we are today with cannabis as a medicine.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to get more into that tomorrow. And we're actually going to get a little bit more into what types of cannabinoids and terpenes and methods of administration, if you wanted to use in conjunction with traditional medicine. So that'll be really cool. So the bottom line, the takeaway for this today is that yes, glaucoma has been shown to decrease intraocular pressure.
Yep. Cannabis
also the important point, treatment needs to be 24 hours a day.
Right.
And basically the conventional is almost a little bit better for a lot of patients, but you can be used in conjunction. So you can't solely rely on cannabis due to various factors. That includes past medical history, other medical conditions, drugs, lifestyle, age, and the ability to consume that much cannabis and the expense. So that's the hugs and nugs for today. We're going to get into more of glaucoma tomorrow and more of glaucoma on Friday.
Yes. Absolutely. We will, Sherry.
We will. And so breath work. I did my 44 breaths this morning and I think I almost fell off the bed.
I'm waiting. I'm going to do them after we get done here. After we do what we have to do, I'm going to do my 44 breaths. And listen, everybody, you can still sign up. We record every session, so you've only missed one. Sign up and join us. It is the rave reviews from people who are in the first class.
Really, really good.
Classes tomorrow at 9 a.m. Again, they're all recorded and you can do them anytime during your day. You really owe it to yourself. I mean, that's where you'll have a breakthrough.
Through the breath. Here's the breakthrough through the breath work, right? Yes. Inhale, spirit. Let go.
Yes.
And out.
Yep.
So anyways, really quickly before we wrap up today, we have 2 more shows today from 4:20 to 6:20. Mark and I are on In the Weeds Prohibition Talk Radio. And there's going to be a great guest on Bobby Nuggs. And he's got a great history. He has been amazing advocate and activist, and he's just done some great things in the cannabis space for a very long time. So we're going to speak with him. And then we have our segment on Canna Talk. So Canna Talk is going to review a little about what we've talked about this week.
Mhm.
So 4:20 to 6:20. And then tonight, Mark, at 8 p.m., we
It's
are
Nurse Mark and the
continuing.
Green Nurse podcast.
Yes. And that what I love about our Wednesday nights is we are
Mhm.
illuminating nurses in the cannabis
Yeah.
space and health
Jesse Lynn
professionals,
Dolan's our guest tonight.
nurse grown
Amazing
organics.
Nurse Grown Organics, Vermont Cannabis Nurses Association founder. I mean, she is a kick-ass rock star. It'll be fun to have a conversation with her.
Yeah. And her story is great too. Like
Mhm.
amazing how cannabis
Right,
has changed her life.
right, and her
So,
personal story.
anyways,
Yeah.
a very personal experience. So
Mhm.
basically, 2 shows today. We got our show tomorrow. And if you or someone you love has glaucoma or literally, or has any chronic debilitating disease, chronic pain,
Mhm.
or if you or someone you love is looking to discover how you can incorporate cannabis into your daily regimen for a health and wellness tool, or even to learn how to have a safe adult use experience,
Mhm.
contact us at The Green Nurse. We are here to help you make choices that are best for you. So www.thegreennurse.com. And for the breath work, you're just going to add on /breath work.
That is all.
That is all. We can put that little handy.
Boop.
There you go. That little handy
Yeah.
dandy,
The banner at the bottom.
the banner
You
at the
know, if
bottom.
you're in the healthcare space, if you're helping people be healthy, join us at The Green Nurse. We have an awesome community and will help you to understand how to bring cannabis and the healing that it provides to all the people that you work with.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to have an AFA day today.
I am going to have
Already
a
starting.
breakthrough.
I'm going to have a breakthrough. I can feel it coming.
Me
know?
too.
Oh, Sherry. So what's it all about?
Oh, Mark, it is truly about living your best life and having an AFA day.
Yes, with your big breakthrough. All right, folks, we'll see you tonight, 4:20 or 8 p.m. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.